And there's breaking news coming in at this point of time with the Congress party raising questions over the voter turnout data and what they are calling a delay in releasing the voter turnout data. And this time it is the EC that has given a loaded response to the Congress party, especially to Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge. Let's tell you what the EC has said for now. The EC has accused the Congress party of pushing the EC is accusing the Congress of pushing a biased narrative in this case, and the EC has given a very, very detailed response to Congress party's Mallikarjun Kharge. We have Madhav Das Gopalakrishnan joining us on the phone line. Madhav, take our viewers through that loaded statement that the EC has given to the Congress party over its charges of delaying the data of the turnout.
Well, as we all know, Mallikarjun Kharge had written that letter to his India Alliance partners where they had spoken about various aspects, including the discrepancy in the voter turnout data released by the Election Commission of India and the so-called non-publication of registered voters. Now, in fact, a response coming in from the Election Commission in a letter that has been written to Mr. Kharge, which rebuts it point by point. He says that they have actually put out points which are verifiable and within knowledge to be incorrect, aimed at pushing a biased narrative in the face of verifiable facts, as well as settled judicial decisions by Apex Court. They say that even though it is an internal correspondence, they've raised issues of credibility of the Election Commission of India. In the 6 questions that have been proposed, they have sought to clarify as far as the percentage that is concerned of the voter turnout, saying that political parties know constituency-wise number of electors at every stage of the electoral cycle, and they are intimately involved in preparation of the electoral roll. Is questioned whether or not Form 16C has been given, which has a signed copy made available to all contesting candidates on the close of the poll in each polling station, and therefore says that there is no scope for deviation. Has it been the case that any of the contesting candidates of their parties have not been provided with a copy of the electoral roll or Form 16? And can he say that there is any discrepancy notice in the Form 16 data? The voter turnout app itself has not been changed. Also, of course, questioning in very, very strong words the kind of glaring mismanagement, saying that the point-wise response to the concerns are being provided, but most have been clarified at this point of time. As a senior parliamentarian, a seasoned politician with experience of 52 years in electoral politics, and at the head of a national party, they are aware of the rules that are followed in terms of a transparent process of preparation of the electoral roll and well-designed and well-tested participation of political parties and candidates at every stage. He also said that there's a design or a pattern in creating a false narrative during election period, which appears to be continued by the letter. They find it relevant to recall that Randeep Surjewala, also an MP, had spread misleading rumors just hours ahead of the commencement of general elections, saying that the EVMs had been brought in from South Africa. So very, very strongly worded letters saying that is there issue with the EVM? The basic block, a 17-page letter giving that the utterances from the president of a national political party attacking the credibility of the electoral steps and processes can have a negative impact on voter participation and can be seen as a measure of trying to deter electors from exercising their franchise while respecting free speech. They have said that this can potentially create an anarchic situation when they say there could be this an attempt to doctor the final results. And also, of course, the Election Commission, which has avoided commenting on political parties, has, in fact, in this case, decided to go ahead because the kind of integrity of the election process that was being revised. They've also provided a lot of tables showing the release of that data and the various Lok Sabha elections in the past, and all of that has been provided. The same time line the Election Commission says has been followed this time around because it takes time for several of those polling officials to come back from their respective polling stations.
And the charge, Madhav, is extremely serious because they've castigated the Congress president for trying to obstruct the process of the Lok Sabha election. Ankit is also joining us on the newsroom. In the newsroom, I beg your pardon. And Ankit, you have the detailed statement of the Election Commission. Very, very strong words there, pointedly rebutting every statement made by Mallikarjun Kharge in his letter about the turnout delay. Over to you, Ankit.
So it's a copious letter which Madhav was also taking us through. Initially what they do is right at the off, they talk about how he has asked 6 questions and they go on to list essentially what Kharge has asked for. And every so often they talk about how they are answering all the 6 questions, providing anecdotes. At the same time they call out Kharge for the essentially the intention behind his letter. It says the very premise that voter turnout data was released late is devoid of facts, as it has always been available on the voter turnout app, for instance. Then it says the commission respects your entitlement to ask questions about all aspects of conduct of elections, including about the release of final voting percentage, and welcomes you as always to approach it for redressal of all complaints. Commission remains firmly committed to its work procedure of responding with full transparency. It goes on to say, while Commission outrightly rejects the allegations of the so-called glaring mismanagement, yet point-wise response to your concerns on the subject are still being provided. So it throws a ode to essentially what Kharge is asking, and then also somewhat schools him over it. As a senior parliamentarian, a very seasoned politician with experience of 52 years, and as the head of a prominent national party, you must be aware that ECI follows the most transparent process of preparation of electoral roll. It also mentions, like Madhav was saying, that we had raised about how Surjewala had claimed that the EVMs deployed were previously deployed for elections in South Africa.
Yes.
So it has mentioned Surjewala's contention as well. And in this way, it has outrightly rejected everything that Kharge has said. And it also finally concludes, Saga, therefore, to uphold the integrity of the election process in the face of aggression on the vitals of live conduct of election coming from your statements, Commission categorically rejects your insinuations, allegations, and advises you to exercise caution and refrain in making such statements.
Yes, let's go back to Madhav. Madhav, for viewers just joining us on this broadcast, that one, the way the EC castigated Mallikarjun Kharge, especially when it goes on to say that whatever you have said, especially when you said, could this be an attempt to doctor the final results? This could create anarchic situation besides doubts and disharmony. Very, very strong, rebuttal there from the ECI. For viewers just joining us, take us in detail through what Mallikarjun Kharge said and now how the EC is hitting back.
Well, absolutely, because the Election Commission has taken this unprecedented action. We know that Election Commission scrupulously avoids commenting on political parties. That
Yes.
In this particular case, the reason they are intervening, as they say, and as can be understood from this letter, is that they are intervening because the entire integrity of the election process is sought to be vitiated by this kind of commentary, which they say is baseless. It was the issue of EVMs, as we know, a few days ago. Before that, there were other questions that were raised on VVPATs, etc. The question electoral roll, and now election data that is being questioned. So they are saying that these allegations regarding release of voter turnout data delayed in the middle of the ongoing polls are designed to create confusion, misdirection, and impediments in the conduct of free and fair polls. These utterances can have a negative impact on voters' participation and demoralize the large election machinery. And this harshly worded letter or rejoinder, the ECI has called statements aggression on vitals of live election operations, quote unquote. Very, very strong words. Also says that the Election Commission is determined to act against developments which can have a direct impact on the delivery of its core mandate. They have also said that the Form 17, which is given to all the candidates, Form 17C, has it been the case that any candidate has complained that they have not got the Form 17 data?
And so, Madhav, possibly the first time that the ECI has taken, has issued such a strong rebuttal to a political player when it comes to the questions that currently are being raised, especially by Congress party and leaders of the INDIA bloc over the delay in, the voter turnout data, as they are saying, and the EC categorically saying that this is false, stop misleading. Do not try to be an obstructionist in this Lok Sabha election process. Thank you for joining us with all those details. Let's move on to the other big story.